It's 2021, folks, and if you are anything like me, then you want to take charge of your finances. You want to take control this year. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you 5 extremely important money rules which you can follow in 2021, which will take you that much closer to the overarching goal of becoming financially free. So without any further dilly-dallying, let us get started on the first money rule for 2021, and I must stress that if you only take one thing away from this video, let it be this, because this is so important. Money rule number 1. Make and stick to a budget. This is such a vitally important part of taking control of your finances, but most people neglect to do it. But here's the thing. In order to get a really solid grip on your money, you have to know where it's going. And if you don't, then, well, spending money can become a pretty slippery slope. If you aren't careful, you'll end up giving it all away without even realizing. To put this in perspective, when I first started making a budget, I was shocked to find out that over 60% of my income was going to things that I just didn't need, or sometimes didn't even want, but I was spending it anyway because it was just a thoughtless thing that I kept doing. So this year, please, if you just do one thing regarding your money, follow rule number 1. Make a budget, track your spending, and stick to it. Rule number 2. Pay yourself first. Now, I made another video that is entirely dedicated to this rule, and so I'm not going to spend too much time on it here, but you should know that it's from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and that is an absolute must-read. It will change your life. So, without going into too much detail, the gist of it is this. Once you have made your budget, make sure to set aside a certain portion of your income for yourself. You should pay yourself first. It can be whatever amount you choose. It doesn't have to be colossally big, but it should be no less than 10% of everything you earn. Now, when you set this money aside, it's paying yourself, but it's not for you to spend. That is the money that is going to be the foundation of your wealth in the future, and you should keep adding to that until eventually it starts to make more and more money for you. Rule number 3, possibly my favorite. I'm kidding, I love all these rules, but rule number 3 is start investing. As Tony Robbins says in his book, Money Master the Game, make the most important financial decision of your life. Start investing. Obviously, that is what this channel is all about, so of course it was going to be in these rules, but I urge you, please do start following rule number 3 and begin to invest. Investing will be one of the pillars of building wealth, but more importantly even than that, maintaining wealth. It is how you start to make money work for you instead of you working for money. It's how you get out of the rat race, and it's how you free up your time so you can spend it doing other things which you enjoy. Following your passions, spending time with family, whatever it may be, investing will help you achieve that. So, for the benefit of your future self, start investing. Rule number 4 is a very interesting one, and it's actually quite fun. And the rule is understand relative wealth and spend your money accordingly. But Joshua, there must be some mistake. You just told me to spend money. Well, contraire, my friend, for I'm about to change your life. Spending money is okay. Don't be so uptight. Provided you followed the first 3 rules of money, so you have made your budget and you're sticking to it, you've set aside money for yourself that is not to spend but rather to be the foundation of your wealth, and you have started investing, then, my friend, we get to the good stuff. Spending money on the right things. Oh, but Joshua, how do you define the right things? Surely that's relative. Well, yes, it is relative. That's the best part about it. You see, the right things can be defined by each and every individual. You need to take the time to reflect and go, okay, what's important to me? What do I really, really like? And what do I actually not like that much? And once you've figured that out, start directing your spending money towards the things that you really like. Now, you may think this is a no-brainer, but it's really not. If we start tracking your money, if you do step 1, you'll realize how much money you spend on things you don't actually care about. Like, really. couldn't give a toss. For example, I hardly ever spend money. I rarely buy new clothes because I'll just wear my old ones until they're literally worn out. I wear the same pair of shoes every day. I very rarely go out to restaurants, and I have a very strong aversion to buying a cup of coffee while I'm out, when I could make a cup of coffee at home for a fraction of the cost. However, and this is a big however, all of my work and the majority of my leisure time is spent on tech. And so as a result, I have no problem splashing out and spending money to get nice tech. This, of course, is after I follow the first 3 steps, so I'm budgeting, I'm paying myself first, and I'm investing. And then, with the spending money that I allocate for myself in my budget, then I'm happy to spend on the things that I like and enjoy and that make me feel wealthy. Relative wealth. I'm getting to that. So for other people, it could be completely different. Perhaps you really value clothes or your car or whatever it is, and you couldn't give a flying fish about tech. Well, then that's all right. That's your relative wealth. That's what makes you feel wealthy. And so when you spend money, you should direct it towards those things. Again, after you have followed the first 3 rules. Then go ahead, spend it on those clothes or on fixing up your car or whatever makes you happy. So many people spend money on things that they just don't need and sometimes don't want. Literally for no other reason than that is what everyone else is doing. So to clarify relative wealth, when I say wealth is relative, I mean the things that you like, that make you happy and that fit your definition of wealth, that will be completely different than for someone else. And that's okay. So when you spend money, spend it on what you would define as wealth, not on what someone else defined as wealth. I'll end off this rule with a quote from Gary Vee, which is quite brilliant, actually. People are broke because they spend money they don't have on things they don't want to impress people they don't even like. And lastly, before we wrap this video up, rule number 5, learn to give. But Joshua, I thought we were trying to build wealth. How can I build wealth if I give away all my money? Okay, you silly banana, slow down, let me explain. Yeah? One of the biggest things that people realise once they've made a load of money is that it doesn't make them happy. Yes, it can solve a lot of problems. Yes, you can buy a lifetime supply of chocolate muffins. But you cannot buy happiness. However, what most of these same people then go on to realise is that giving money not only helps the people they give it to, but it helps them as well. It makes them feel happy. A 2008 study done by Harvard found that when participants were given money, those who spent it on someone else reported much higher levels of happiness than those who spent it on themselves. So I challenge you to give this year. Now, it doesn't have to be a lot. You can start off with as little as 1% of what you earn. And you can do it wherever you think is right, whether you're giving tithe to your church or you're blessing someone with a meal who you think needs it. Whatever it is, I'm sure that your generosity will come back round to you in some way or form. And not only will you be blessing someone else, but I'd wager that you'd feel a whole lot better for it. So those are my 5 money rules for 2021. If you enjoyed this video, fantastic. Do give it a thumbs up, a like. That's a thumbs up. So do give it a thumb like and subscribe. Share the video with someone who you think would like to see it. And do click on that little bell notification icon. And one day I might buy you a cookie. Who knows? Luck of the draw. I upload videos weekly and I hope to see you at the next one.